Perfect. Okay, so today, like most days, we have been talking. Our focus has always been on Instagram lately, and the reason for that is it's such a huge business building tool. Speaking from experience, starting my business entirely on Facebook and then making that transition over to Instagram, the difference is like not even in the same realm. Like Instagram is so much easier, and I'm so thankful that new coaches and people entering the business now, like that's where we're starting them off, because Facebook was really difficult to grow a cold market, right? Because you're not encouraged to make friends with people you're not actually friends with, where Instagram, that's the whole premise, right? Is making friends with strangers. So we are going to talk about how to use Instagram stories as a way of connecting with these people, because your warm market is your family, your friends, your coworkers, referrals, friends of friends, that sort of thing. And eventually that dries out. And I didn't have a very big warm market because a lot of my friends were already like really big fitness buffs, and they loved like CrossFit and spin classes. So they weren't really all that interested in Beachbody, and they were supportive and they thought what I did was cool and like good for me, but it wasn't for them. So that was a little bit tricky to navigate those waters, because some people have big warm markets. I didn't have one at all. So I had to learn really quickly how to engage with strangers and how to make friends and how to, build trust and to, captivate people and find a way to connect with them on some level. So with Instagram stories, the nice thing is you build trust, right? You prove your legitimacy through Instagram stories because you show up every day. People can see what you do, what you make for breakfast. People can see what you put in your shake. People can see the results that you're sharing instantly. It's not like they have to, sift through a bunch of Facebook posts and go back. And Facebook is kind of hard to navigate, whereas Instagram, it's just so laid out so perfectly. Instagram stories are so nicely laid out, and it's easy for us to share. So you can really prove your intent too, because lots of times people just do this for a hobby, but people can tell the difference between someone who's doing this for, just basically for accountability, and someone who's doing this as a business and they're passionate about it and they're attracting people to that page. Instagram stories is a great way of proving your commitment too, because if you don't show up for a few days, people are probably going to be like, oh, like she's like kind of in it, kind of not. And then the issue that I've had other people tell me is they'll have someone who's super into it for like a week, into coaching, really excited, sharing, really, really excited. And then they kind of drop off the face of the earth. And then you kind of break that trust with your followers, because they're excited, regardless of how many followers you have. They are excited to watch your story. There are people, you all know that you see the same people that watch your stories. They may never buy a thing from you right now. Maybe they're not interested, but they'll always watch your story. And those are the people that need that extra push. They need to be convinced. They need to build that trust, because I'll have people now say to me, I've been watching you for 3 years. I've been watching you for 4 years, and I'm ready to dive in. And it took them that long to build that trust with me, to know that I'm legitimate, that I'm not going anywhere, that this is my career choice. It's not just something that I do for fun, right? So it's a really, really good way to show your commitment, because it's easy. Oh my gosh, is it ever easy, right? Like, how simple is it? Even on your busiest of days, show what you ate for breakfast. We all have to eat something during the day. We eat something, whether it's good, bad, or here nor there. You share that because it's a real story. So maybe your story is that you had a really healthy breakfast, a 2B mindset breakfast. How easy is it to take a picture of you with your, maybe it's your bowl of, oats and berries or whatever you have, your eggs, your kale. Take a picture with it and say, yeah, 2B mindset, like you're a bunny, the two bunnies, hashtag it, upload it, off you go. It takes 10 seconds to do that. Whereas when it was on Facebook, you'd have to actually like maybe edit the picture a little bit more, think of something like clever, and then maybe 5 people would see it, just the way the algorithms worked. And it was just so ineffective. So this is, reach a lot more people with Instagram stories, like a lot more people. So I wrote down some notes so that I tried to stay on topic today. By showing up every single day and connecting, you continue to build your reputation as a leader, a mentor, and as a coach, because you show up every day, you prove your legitimacy. You disappear for a few days, or maybe you just post like 2 things in 24 hours. People don't take you as seriously. They don't think that you're as committed. And I understand we all have days. Believe me, we all have our days where it's just like not going well. We're not feeling good. Maybe we, just like aren't in a mood. And trust me, that's been me this entire week. So I've been sharing pictures of my honeymoon and of my wedding and just like trying to fill my Instagram stories when I'm not feeling good. 'Cause I don't know what it said, like 3,000 pictures on my phone, like something insane from the last, like how many years. I always have content to share, always have content. Like I'm never without. So even if you don't have something from today, you have something you can post. You have something you can share. In all of our downline pages, there are ample numbers of Lift 4 transformations, 21-day fix transformations, 80-day obsession transformations, no shortage there. So you always have something to post. If someone was really, really close to diving into a challenge with you, they're almost convinced, they're really, really sure, they're like this close to diving in and getting a challenge pack from you. But those are the days maybe you decided to just like slack off and disappear. You don't post on Instagram for 4 days. You don't have a story present for 24 hours. They might be like, oh, shoot, maybe they're not doing it anymore. I don't know. And then they go to the next one that's on their list. They're really inspiring. They're blowing it up. They have high energy. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'll sign up with her. That happens, you guys. That happens all the time. I'll have people come to me and say, I love your story. I was following this other coach, but I don't think she's doing it anymore. And then I'm like, oh, what was her name? And I go check out her page and it's like, she's probably definitely still coaching, but just took a hiatus for 3 or 4 days, right? So it happens. And I think that's why I'm so adamant on bringing energy and life to your Instagram story and just being present on it, because it's so simple, very, very simple. Same thing with coaching too, right? If someone was ready to dive in on your team, but you never post about team calls, maybe you don't ever go on team calls, maybe you never post about personal development, maybe you never talk about business growth or development, So it's just one of those things that you have to send out the vibes that you're wanting to get in return. Like it's really easy to give out those vibes, but it's also easy to forget about it and to not do it. But if you're passionate about the journey that you're on, if you're loving the nutrition program you're doing, like I'm obsessed with 2B Mindset. Like I never thought I'd be like someone who was into nutrition. Totally in. I'm like all in on 2B Mindset. People can feel that when they watch my stories. They can feel that energy. They can feel that passion. But if you're just doing this and just like, wah, 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 like Charlie Brown's teacher, people are probably going to be like, yeah, you're just, are you in it? Are you in it? I don't know. Right. So just be aware of the energy that you're giving and be yourself. I get it. Not everybody's like a high strung, like crazy outgoing person. That's not real life for a lot of people. But people can tell when you're being yourself, right? When you're being authentic and when you're giving your energy out. That's real life. Okay. Next on my list is if you want people to take you seriously, to treat you like a business owner, to really take you for what you are. You're a professional. You have to show up and treat it like a business, right? Like if you owned a shoe store and you didn't show up for a few days, you can't be upset when your shoe store doesn't do good that month. Right. And that's what I always tell myself is if I want to run this business and I want to, my goal of hitting Success Club 30 every single month, I have to show up every day. I have to show up on the days that I'm in a bad mood. I have to show up on the days that I have cramps or that I'm not feeling well, because it's my business. This is my baby. This is not just, my hobby. This is my passion project. So I show up every day. And that's one thing about being an entrepreneur is you do make sacrifices, right? Like I don't play slow pitch in the summer for the last few summers because it always landed on times where I was working or I had team calls or team trainings and it just wasn't worth it to me. So I did have to make sacrifices, and I make those kind of sacrifices so I don't have to sacrifice time with family, right? So it's just giving up those little things. And Rachel Hollis, like in Girl Wash Your Face, her podcast, she talks a lot about giving up like television and like saying that, oh, I gave up on my dreams because I really like Netflix. She's like, word it that way, right? Like, oh yeah, I know like every single detail of every single season of Game of Thrones, but I didn't have time to build my business. And it's like, oh yeah, I too know a lot about Game of Thrones, and that's embarrassing because how many hours have I dedicated? I said that was worth my time. That was worth my energy watching this show. But then if you in turn say, oh, I didn't have time to make it on that team call, or no, I didn't listen to the national wake up call, or I didn't do the team training. It's hard to feel sorry for you, right? Like that, I went through that my first like year and a half as a coach, constantly being like, I'm busy. I have a life. Like, I can't do this. And it's like, no, I just don't want to. I'm choosing not to. I'm prioritizing things a little differently. So just weigh that out. Sometimes we have to have a real conversation with ourselves. Like, are we choosing to be like focusing on other things? Maybe we're scared of failure, so we just make up an excuse of being busy or not being able to do it. So we're just like, it's easier to say that I'm busy because that's comfortable, being busy, rather than the unknown of committing all in and not knowing if you'll succeed still. Does that make sense? Like, you're comfortable being, let's say, quote unquote, lazy, and not having success, but because you have a reason for it, rather than committing to something, going all in, diving in, and it being scary and not knowing if you'll succeed. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of where my brain's at too. You just have to realize that it's always worth the risk. You will never regret diving all in and trying really hard with your business. Don't let your followers down. That's another thing. Like I said, if you have 10 people watching you, or you have 10,000 people following you, they're following you for a reason, and they like what you're posting because they connect with you in some way. Maybe they find you entertaining. Maybe they find you educating. Maybe they find you inspiring, or all three. But you need to show up for them. They're relying on you. And I know every single one of you on this call, I don't care what your rank is. I don't care what your Success Club point history is. I don't care. You've probably had someone come to you and say, you made a difference today. What you shared resonated with me. Thank you for doing that, because that made a difference for me. I'm sure all of you have experienced that. And I want you to remember that feeling. I want you to remember that gratification you get from that. Because for every person that tells you that, there's probably 35 others that just didn't have the guts to tell you that. So there's people watching you. There's people that need you. Don't ever take for granted or underestimate how capable you are of changing lives simply by sharing, the real beautiful mess that your life is, right? Because sometimes people will say to me, like, you're so real, I just love it. And it's like, I'm just being myself. I choose to be myself and be funny and maybe be a little bit crass and sarcastic, and then, I don't know, then pretend to be someone else and get a few more followers out of it. If I can have real connections with people, that's what matters. 1 second. I'm dying over here. Okay. All right. So that kind of covers my educate, entertain, and inspire intro. Now, this point is something I work on every single day, because it's easy to be fluffy, right? It's easy to talk about Shakeout. It's easy to talk about maybe your progress with the program. It's easy to talk about food. What's not easy is talking about your history with maybe bulimia, maybe your history with an abusive relationship and overcoming trauma. Maybe it's not easy talking about body dysmorphia or anxiety or depression. And in no way am I telling you to do something you're uncomfortable with or share information you're not comfortable with. But when you feel like you're at a point of growth or at a place of leadership or inspiration to share on a deeper level, go there. Lean into that. Because when I started talking about my weight, and with smoking, and with like having severe body dysmorphia and being like really, really hard on myself in my early 20s, talking about that more openly, I don't want to say that it boosted my business, but I know I impacted a lot more people when I talked about real things, when I talked about the real stuff, the heavy stuff. And I know with some of my coach friends talking about their struggles with infertility and getting healthy, and getting on a path to try and be the best vessel they could be to grow a baby, that's when you take it next level. You're no longer just a Beachbody coach. You are someone that people are going to follow for a lifetime. That's how you create lifelong fans, lifelong followers, and people are going to connect with you on a deeper level. This is how you find your tribe, because you're sending out your vibe, your energy, your experiences. Like, there's a reason why all of my team has like a pet, and a lot of my challengers and coaches work in dental. Like, that's not a coincidence, right? That's because I share about that. I talk about that. It attracts my tribe. So talking about education a little bit more, We have literally the most amount of resources probably of any MLM ever. So between the Coach Online office, like we have technically, like we don't really need to provide a new coach training. Like I don't need to make one because Beachbody has one and it's amazing if you guys haven't looked at it yet. Theirs is so good. And that's what I did when I started actually, was just the Beachbody new coach training that was provided on the website. And between that, Beachbody On Demand, the Beachbody blog, the 2B Mindset videos, Ilana's Instagram, we have information out the wazoo. So I encourage you to learn something new every day and share it with your followers. Maybe it's going to be, you're going to learn about, you're going to go to Darren O'Lean's YouTube page or to the Shakeology blog, and you're going to learn about an ingredient in Shakeology, and you're going to share that with your client base, with your followers. Say, this is why I drink this stuff every day. Sure, it's delicious. Yeah, it tastes like a funky monkey from Booster Juice, but it's way cheaper and way healthier. It's delicious. But these ingredients here, this is where they come from. This is how they're sourced. This is why I drink this. So don't just be the Shako. Delicious. Great. But when you get on a deeper level, people trust you. People believe in you. People are like, oh, like she knows what she's talking about, because it's not just a shake. You can talk about it and build that repertoire, right? That you know, you're the Shakeology girl, you're the Superfood girl. You know what's in there because you're putting it in your body, you're promoting it. So you might as well broaden your horizons and really educate yourself on this, because we have so many resources. So add that to your to-do list every single day, is educate your followers on anything. Maybe it's going to be on a tour of Beachbody On Demand and show them what they can get. Maybe it's going to be talk about why Ilana tells us to drink water first, and more water, more weight loss. Maybe you're going to talk about water all day one day. Maybe you're going to talk about 80-day obsession and what kind of equipment is used and what muscle groups that it is targeting, because those videos tell us. We can relay that information. We don't need to be a nutritionist or a fitness expert to relay that information. We just share what we learn. And that's what we do, right? That's our job. Like that is like ultimately like the one thing that we do most is share. And that's why I love what we do, because it's not sell, because we're just truly sharing our journey, our results, our friends' results, and inviting people to come with us. And it's a really easy thing to do. Build your credibility and prove that you're all in by being educated. And if you don't have an answer for something, Google. And like 9 times out of 10, when a coach of mine messages me and like, hey, what's this? And I'll be like, Google. And then I send it to them. I'm like, I don't know, or like I don't know off the top of my head, or I'm not sure. So just Google it. That's fine. We all do it. Entertain, the next thing. Entertain the people that are watching you. Bring the energy. Be yourself. Let loose a little bit and let your true colors fly. And you know what? Sometimes in my Instagram story, I curse. And I sometimes like put warnings like this might have explicit music in this workout here today. I don't have kids, so I don't like have a censor really right now. But I just think it's important to be yourself, because when you're funny and you're being silly and lighthearted, people just love that. It's so refreshing, because so much of what's on Instagram is rehearsed, right? It is staged and it is calculated and it is just blah. Like it's just lacking so much personality. So by being yourself and like talking about the stupid thing you did today, or sharing something funny that happened to you, or just being honest and real and open with people about your opinions on stuff, I think is so entertaining, and people love watching you. So entertain them. Take advantage of the fact that there's only one you. That is your biggest advantage in this business. There's only one of you. You have a story. You have a passion. You have a purpose. You have a why that is so unique to you that no one on this earth could grow the kind of business that you could grow, because that's your advantage. You are you, and that is incredible. So I think it's important to be entertaining, because people will come back if you're funny. People will come back if you're like really sarcastic. People will come back if your humor is really dry and like really, I don't know, just be yourself, because I think if you're simply sharing push-ups and smoothies and inspirational quotes, it's not enough. People want more. People crave to know who you are. So get a little bit deeper with them. And the third point is inspire. I think it's really important for you guys and for our challengers to be devoted to personal development on some level. Not everybody loves reading, but everybody should be doing personal development. Maybe that's a YouTube video. Maybe it's an audiobook. Maybe it's a real old-fashioned page turner book. But you need to be devoted. And I promise you, coming from someone who didn't do personal development for the first 2.5 years of her business, there was a shift in my business. There was a shift in Success Club points. There was a shift in rank advancements. There was a shift in my team when I committed to personal development every day, when I committed to becoming stronger from within. And I think it's really important that we encourage our challengers to do the same thing. Encourage them to dive in, because you know what? When we see success in our business, when we start doing personal development, it is almost guaranteed that our challengers will see more success in their fitness journeys and in their life when they're doing personal development too. So how does this apply to your Instagram story? If you are doing personal development every day, you will never be without some form of wisdom to share. So I think it's really beautiful when someone reads something or listens to something and then turns it into their own message. Maybe you jot it down and then you share what you learned with your followers, because oftentimes the people that we're reading are really profound souls, whether they be business owners or maybe they're just, spiritual gurus or whatever. By relaying that message, you are spreading so many good vibes out there. People cannot help but be attracted to you, to your account, to your business. So by committing to personal development, not only is it personally advancing you, your business, your relationships, your life, but it's also going to have a really positive impact on the people that are showing up every day to see your silly antics, to see your, recipes, to see your workout videos, to see your pet. Then you add in a dose of real deep personal development on how to help them improve their lives. The value added into your Instagram story is through the roof. So think of it every time. I'm sure we all do this. We all watch our own Instagram stories 8 times a day. I know we do. We all think we're so creative and so oh my God, that was a brilliant day. Well done, Kirsten, 24 hours of just genius. Good job. But what you need to do is look at that and see, have I educated? Have I inspired? Have I entertained? Have you hit those things throughout the day? That's what you want to try and do. And I think by having a really well-balanced story, it's not all one-sided. If you add 30 videos of you doing your workout, your entire workout, you have lost your followers. They're done. They're swiping away and they're not tuning back in because it's too much work to do this throughout. If you have something really important to say, I encourage you to go live rather than do 30 stories, because you lose people. They're done. They're gone. So try and keep it short if you can, and always have something to say. But I just think that Instagram stories provide us with a platform that is easy for busy people. It's the best platform if you're busy, which we all are. So it's great for all of us. But there's a way to do it that we can tweak it to our advantage. And I think that's hitting those 3 things. And that's coming from a dental hygienist with I don't have a degree in anything. So I don't know this as a fact. I know this just as experience to be what's worked for me is by sharing a lot, but sharing value added content, because I used to try and just be selfie, makeup, outfit, workout, cool, I'm done. And I was just why am I not getting engagement? Why am I not building culture? Why am I not building community? I want to build a community on my page. And it's starting to happen. These last several months, it's starting to happen because my content is deeper. I'm going on a different level with people. I'm talking about, next level things. I'm not keeping it at surface. My stories are better. I'm taking a little bit more time to think about what I'm sharing in a day. I'm planning ahead. And talking about planning ahead, we already had the American release of Shakeology, which was a wild success, a wild success. And I encourage you guys, regardless of where you live, to take advantage for the October 11th Canadian launch, because you have customers in Canada. You have people watching you on Instagram in Canada, regardless of where you're from. So make sure that you plug that a lot and talk about it a lot. And I've purposely been, I know this might be next level marketing crazy, but I've been using a lot of like orange font and pumpkins and like witches and like a lot of pumpkin-y things these last few days, and talking about the Shakeology. I've been blending my own vanilla Shakeology with pumpkin puree, pumpkin protein bites with Shakeology. I've been like pumpkining out of the wazoo. So I encourage you, we got some time here. We still have like a little over a week before the launch. So just like go pumpkin nuts the next few days. Talk about it a lot. Make sure people know about it. At least once a day you're talking about some form of pumpkin, and that people know it's coming out October 11th. And let them know that it's not just delicious pumpkin flavor. There's so much in there that's delicious for us, that, you know, our vegetable and our nutrients in our soil is so depleted from, you know, we think that while we're eating, you know, cucumbers, we're eating carrots. It's not the cucumbers and carrots that our grandparents ate. We're eating a significantly less nutrient vegetable than what they ate. So Shakeology helps us fill those gaps. And that's what I'm talking about, guys, is educating yourself. Take some time, watch a 20-minute YouTube video on Shakeology, educate yourself, because it's going to help you just go wild in this business, because people will take you seriously. And then you won't feel like nervous when people ask you about it. Like, why is it so expensive? Be like, well, like that vanilla came from Madagascar. Like that vanilla didn't come from a farm in California. Like that vanilla came from a far distance, and they organically harvested it, and like get passionate about what you do, guys. And people will be able to just like feel it and be so invested in you. One action step I have for you guys that people love free stuff, So couple things. The first thing is the free Shift Shop workout that came out. It's about 20 minutes long. And if you type in Google free Shift Shop workout, you'll be able to find it. It basically takes you to the web browser version of Beachbody On Demand on the homepage of Shift Shop, just like the Lift 4 one, and it says try workout. I encourage every single person on this call, and tell your coach friends, you all need to have a Linktree link in your Instagram bio. It is incredible, and it will help people not only gain access to the free workout that you can link in there, but maybe you have your coach sign up form. Maybe you have a link to your coach sneak peek in there. It's a really good gateway to get people to look at the options they have there, but also to try the workout. So how do you do this? Okay. My plan for you, I encourage you to try, is make a poll. Who wants to try the free Shift Shop workout? Make a poll. Yes or double yes. Don't give them an option to say no. So what you do with those people is now you message them. Copy and paste the message so you don't work smarter, not harder, remember. So you're going to message them and say, hey girl, I'm so pumped for this new Shift Shop program and I can't wait to try this free workout. Would you like me to send it your way? And then they'll be like, yeah, sure. And be like, okay, here it is. Do you have any goals you're working towards? And what kind of workouts do you like? Start a conversation. So make a one sentence little like, hey, I saw you clicked whatever on my poll. Do you want to try Chris's new workout with me? And then see what they say, message them back, have a conversation, but that's your in. That is your organic way to have conversations with people. It does not get easier than that, you guys. It is an organic way. People are reaching out to you. They clicked your poll. They said, hey, contact me, please. Message me and talk to me. Stranger, hello, nice to meet you. That's what that is. So talk to them and use that Linktree to your advantage. And also, another thing, sometimes I miss days of Shakeology. I know, shame on me, but sometimes I miss it. I typically order the packets because we do travel a lot and we're back and forth to the lake, so I like having the packets. So what I do, speaking of free things, if I have challengers that are kicking ass, that are doing amazing, and I think they would be really incredible coaches, I just sent them out this past week. I sent a little card saying, you're doing amazing. Keep up the good work. I just wanted to send you a little something. And then I hand wrote out 2 recipes for the 2 flavors of Shakeology that I sent them. Mailed it in a package and in a little letter. It cost me $2 to send it to all of my challengers seem to be from Iowa, which I don't know why, but they are. And so I sent them all off, and it's just like one little thing I can do. I have extra Shakeology kicking around. I have the packets. It's a business expense. It's a write-off for me. Perfect. It makes them feel loved. It's an easy thing for me to do. And I love handwritten anything. Like that is like my love language. A handwritten letter, a handwritten recipe, send that off to my challengers, and I just can't wait. I know they're going to love it. So it's a simple thing to do. Add on a little Halloween sticker on the front of the package, and there you go. You're good to go. So just remember, people like free things, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It can just be a little thing of Shakeology with a recipe handwritten saying thank you so much for being just a shining light in my challenge group, and off you go. And I always encourage you to share recipes from the Beachbody blog because they have gorgeous photos there too. If you click on them, it'll take you to Pinterest, but then you can like screenshot them and share them in your story. And if you don't have 10,000 followers, you don't have the swipe up option, but that's okay. And it's actually kind of to a benefit. Excuse me. You can say in your poll of the recipe or the picture and say, maybe it's like the Mexican fajita beef, the 21-day fix recipe, beautiful picture. And you have the title, who wants the recipe? Yes or double yes. And then to the people that did that, be like, hey, here's the link to that recipe I was telling you about. Once you try it, let me know. Write their name down. And then if they say, oh yeah, I can't wait to try it, maybe a week or two from now, say, hey, did you ever try that recipe? What did you think? And that's your way to have a conversation with people. That's what this business is about. Relationships, building conversations, and making it as organic as possible, because it is so nice that because of Instagram and the features that it has, we don't have to knock on everyone's door. People will come to us, and we have an organic way to talk to people. So try that. Yeah, I kind of said this before, that this business has literally never been easier. When I started, I would spend hours like making up a post for Facebook and adding complete strangers to Facebook and feeling like I was like just treading water, and I was like barely keeping my head above water. But Instagram is like my jam. And you know what? If you're rocking Facebook, go with it. Go with it. If it is your thing, run with it. But for me, I just felt like I was hitting kind of like a standstill with it. And it was like awkward because people were like, do I know you? I'm like, no, but you can, like, I'm nice, like, follow me. So just know that Instagram is making your job easier, and get over the fact that you're like, okay, like, I'm nervous to post. Like, I don't want to get my face in front. Like, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? Literally, like, tell me in the comments right now, what is the worst thing that will happen if you talk on social media or on the internet and people hear your voice and see your face? Like, I don't know. Like, nothing will happen, actually. And if you're worried about someone being like, you're such a poser. Like, I know you eat chicken wings all the time. It's like, yeah. And I posted them on my story last night because I'm real. And like, it's fine. Trust me. Like, being a Beachbody coach does not mean that you have to exude this perfect persona. In fact, our kind of mantra is that fitness comes available to everybody, and fit looks different on everyone, and healthy living looks different on everyone. So you do you, boo. And yeah, it's a really simple thing to just like block less, block less and release. There we go. Oh my gosh. And then the other thing, I had people asking me if I was to recommend investing back into the business, spending money in my business, what would I recommend doing? And really, I only spend money on a few different things, but one of the things would be Summit, getting your ass to Summit. It will change your life. It will change your business. I missed last year because my nephew was born on the Summit weekend, which was worth it. But it is one of the most impactful things that you can invest your money into. And I promise you that it will forever change you and your business. So that's one of the biggest investments I think you can make. And it's fun. Oh my God, it's so fun. Like, the most fun you'll have. The next thing I would recommend doing is paying someone to take some pictures of you. Take some pictures of you with your phone, with your laptop, with your smoothie, with your workout clothes on, with your Boss Babe clothes on, or maybe just some headshots. But I think that's a really good investment. I didn't do that for a long time. I did that when I was at a financial position that I could reinvest back into my business. That wasn't early on. I don't think you have to do that to grow a business. That came later on. And then the last thing I would focus on, people ask me about, like, I have a guy that helps me with my Instagram, and it's expensive. It's like $370 a month. Like, that's a lot of money. It is not cheap. And I just started doing that like within the last like 9 months. So is it beneficial? For sure. But literally I waited until I was like a 6-figure earner in Beachbody before I did that, because it's a big investment. And if you can find someone who can do it for cheaper, you probably can. I'm probably getting ripped off. I don't even know. I like took the first person I found, but you can find people that can do the same thing. Basically, he just makes sure that my followers are within my niche. So people around my age, women, he unfollows or doesn't let men follow me type of thing. And I've set parameters, and he looks for people who, maybe they own cats, maybe they live only in Canada, US, and UK, cat owners, pet owners, brides to be, like that sort of thing. So he focuses in on hashtags. He does the legwork for me, but literally, like, I could do it. I could do his job. I've just chosen to outsource that portion of it. But those are some things that I invested back into. So I am going to look at the chat really quick here. Okay, perfect. So does anyone have any questions? I know that was like hard. I was like coughing through the entire thing. I hope it wasn't too disgusting for you guys. Does anyone have any questions or things that they want to add before we wrap up? Anyone? No? It's so quiet. Okay. Was this beneficial? Yes? Okay. Perfect. Oh, we have a question. Sherry, you could always just unmute yourself and ask it. Do you post to Facebook stories as well? No, I don't. I only literally use my Facebook story or Facebook for groups, my challenge groups and my coach group. And then I post my family stuff. I literally just post pictures of my nephew and my wedding and stuff. It's more of a personal thing on Facebook for me. And it's all been kind of a business experiment. And I don't think there's any harm in doing that, because you're reaching more people, right? So why not try Facebook stories? Because maybe your niche market is on Facebook more than they are on Instagram, right? So you never know. Okay, guys. Well, I think that is it. I hope that helped. It was a lot of information and a lot of coughing packed into that half an hour. So thank you for bearing with me and putting up with that. Oh, we have another one. Justin. Would you post the same thing to Facebook stories as Instagram? I would. I wouldn't waste time doubling up. I would post the same content for sure. I even do that in my challenge groups too, sweaty selfies and things of that nature. I just post them in, I just save the story and post it in my challenge group. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. We all got lives. We all got families. We got things to do. So how many posts on Instagram? So the regular post or the stories? The stories? Oh, regular post. 1. I do 1. Some days on Fridays are my lowest traffic days on Instagram. Sometimes I'll just post a fluff post that day, or sometimes nothing at all if we're busy. Honestly, I'd rather post nothing than something that's stupid and doesn't go with the theme and it's just filler. But if I find a cute quote or a picture or an image on Pinterest, then I'll post it. But typically just 1. But yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then next week, what we're going to do on Wednesday evening, mark your calendars, we are going to do a live power hour again with Virginia and I. And we are going to literally sit down for an hour and tell you what to do, and tell you to message people, tell you to, send out your happy birthday messages, send out whatever. We're going to do it all together. So that is next week, probably around the same time, but we'll keep you posted and we'll let you know. Okay. Perfect. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me. Take care.